Yes, this is real. In this video, I built the largest storage unit in Minecraft survival history, storing an astounding 56,623,104 items. This storage unit is a one and done project that covers generations of Minecraft updates. Before the video starts, this was a really time consuming project, and before I waste 200 plus hours of my life away doing anything, I need to build a house in my new village first.
Okay, actually, I think I found a good spot for it. So I think right here, next to the church, and is this the bakery? Yes, it is. So I think here will do. So I'll just clear out a little area like so. Alright, and then boom and boom right under the stairs. Alright, and that is this house 100% complete. So just for context, for every single video that I post in the future, I will be building one house in this village until I die in this world. So if you want to see how big this village gets, please subscribe. It's free and it helps both you and I out a ton. Alright, but going back to other things at hand, another thing we need to do is we need to actually launch some fireworks, because as part of joining the Discord, one firework will be launched for every member inside the server. And as of the time of recording this video, there are 46 members in the militia. So the first thing I'm going to need is I am going to need a dispenser, followed by some other redstone stuff. 23 yellow, and then using all the bone meal I have, I'll bone meal my rose bush. We'll just craft all the red dye we can, and then we'll split it. So 23 yellow and then 23 red. We'll start with the sticky piston here, and then we'll load this thing up. I'm going to build a little power switch down here, and then it's going to power up a little redstone torch mechanism, and then it should power this piston here, which will power the entire show. I mean, let's get some electrical work going. We'll put the lever here. All right, now let's go up here, and then we can add piston there, and then a redstone block there. All right, and by all means, this should work. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to be disappointed. All right, here goes. So let's click this lever and hope everything works. Here we go. Let's go. 46 fireworks launched just like that. Thank you to those who have joined the Discord. For every member that joins, we will launch a firework that has your name written all over it as part of joining. So if you want a big fireworks show, link is in the description. Join the LaFrizza militia today. We're always recruiting. But also, actually, as well, we're still not done, because we have one more thing that we need to attend to. As part of joining the Discord, there is an opportunity to potentially have 3 armor statues in this village in your name. Right, and those are the 3 statues. Alright, now the 3 names for my armor statues, I am going to dedicate to my lovely moderators as part of the LaFrizza Militia Discord server. Alright, so our town priest will be Marshmallow Boy, then my other moderator, Kafla Maris. Alright, and then last but certainly not least, Legacy Live YT. Alright, and now 1, 2, and then 3. To my awesome moderator team, thank you for your services. I literally would not be here without you, and this video is dedicated to you. Alright, now that that's all out of the way, I can actually show you the main purpose of this video, which is the colossal storage unit that is coming soon. So, I mean, let's log out and get over to it right now. Okay, and here is the storage unit that I have been working on. So, as you can see, there is a lot of redstone running through this system here. And this is either going to work very smoothly and I'll have no issues whatsoever, or I'm going to completely bust my PC just loading this in. So now it is actually time to actually transform the exterior of this and not make it look, you know, boring like it already looks. Like, look at this. All this redstone wiring is just exposed. Like, I can't have the storage unit looking like this. we need something new, and I've got just the idea. So, let me present to you Blockers on Prime, fulfilling your blocky needs since 2025. Alright, and then just by grabbing a stick, we can then select this corner here of the schematic. Alright, and now we've got our entire storage unit in the Litematica schematic area. Now, let's just go to the menu, and then we save this schematic to let everyone know that it is the final build. I have waited so long to get to this moment, and now it's finally here. So, let's now log out and go back into our hardcore world. And then when I bring up the load schematics and go to Blockers on Prime Final, I mean, this is a 200,000 plus block build. So, I mean, we've got a bit of work to do here. So, I guess let's chop and get to it. I think what we'll actually do is we'll divide this up into some steps first before we progress to Blockers on Prime itself. And there is only one person who can explain this plan, so I guess Professor LaFrizza, the stage is yours. Okay, so to build Blockers on Prime, LaFrizza will need to build some automated farms to grind all the needed resources to build the gigantic warehouse. Dividing this into 8 parts, this colossal imagination is possible. Step 1. Find a place to build Blockers on Prime. This is very easy to do, but with the amount of chests in this build, it's best to build it in a mesa biome to reduce lag, as there aren't much entities or lag related blocks that spawn there. Step 2. Build a shulker farm to produce as much shulker boxes as possible. With the amount of resources needed to transport, having loads of shulker boxes for effective transportation of materials is a must. Step 3. Build a tunnel bore at Deepslate level to farm all the Deepslate, as this is the best way to farm Deepslate versus strip mining for it all. This allows us to farm loads of redstone and extra diamonds on the side. Step 4. Farm as much wood as possible for all the chests. Doing this at the wood factory will also run the iron farm for all the iron for hoppers. Step 5. Build an ominous bottle farm followed by a raid farm to get the rest of the redstone for the project, as somehow this is actually possible in 1.21. Step 6. Get all the stone needed for this project. Using the stone farm, this is possible. Step 7. Build a gravity block dupe to save time grinding for all the concrete powder needed for this project. And last but certainly not least, finish off the rest of the material collection and finally build Blockers on Prime. Now that you know what's up, let's go. Class dismissed. So to start out, we're going to find a place to place Blockers on Prime. And I think I've got just the place. Now, if I just fly to my portal over here, I'm going to note down the coordinates. And then I'm going to destroy it. And then if I, using the nether roof, fly to those same coordinates, I'll just build the portal here like so. All right, and then we light it. And it should lead us back to the mesa mine out. And it does. Yes, let's go. Okay, actually, I do think that this little plot of mesa here should be terraformed. And then we'll actually place Blockers on Prime here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to load up Litematica and I'm going to get my schematic. So let's load it. All right, here's my first layer. What I'm actually going to do first is I'm going to work the schematic a little bit. Try to find the best spot to put it. Okay, the front is present when I emerge from the portal. So this is a good start. This is a very good start. Okay, so I think here's actually pretty good because the mesa's not got many entities in it, and overall this part of land here is pretty good, and it's very close access with the portal being over there. So I think this is pretty good. So that ticks off step 1 of 8, which is a very good start. All right, so the second part in playing this project is building a super fast shulker farm that can generate me enough shulker shells to craft as many shulker boxes as I want. Because if we look at the material list in simple terms, we go to our Blockers on Prime final build, literally 21 shulker boxes of spruce planks, 20 shulker boxes of stone, 14 shulker boxes of Deepslate bricks, 13 shulker boxes of hoppers, and basically you get the point. We're gonna need a lot. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour for all the scaffolding because I need string to craft it. I don't want to be manually hunting spiders, so I've acquired all this just to build a spider farm. In fact, a cave spider farm at that. I think I heard some spiders, so let's check. Oh, yep, here we go, cave spider spawner. So I'll just dig this out and then we'll build a farm. All right, and that should be enough string, so I'll take all that, then we'll pack up and get out of here. All right, now if I just grab all this bamboo, I should have more than enough string to craft the rest of the scaffolding. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's good. All right, and that is all the materials I'm going to need. So as you can see, we've got plenty of materials here to build a shulker farm. Now let's just pack all this up and let's get to the end islands and see what we can do. All right, and that is the farm done. So now to activate this, I'm just gonna slide into, I think it's here. Yep, okay. And I'm just gonna put an activator out here and then a block with a lever activating it. And then I'll just spawn proof that. And then we've got to build a little railway all the way out to the end city. So let's do that. Alright, now that that's joined up, let's go get our shulker. Okay, this guy's gonna be the one. And if I just like go, there we go, he's in. Alright, now we'll just put a furnace on so that we can push him along. And then once he's given a push, we'll pick up our furnace cart. Alright, and now he should be in. And it should be working. So if we just break all this, then we put 2 boats into here. Then we can just collect up all our rails and give it some time to load up. All right, I can hear it absolutely cooking here. So let's check the chest and hope I've done everything right. And I have. There's some shulker shells. Let's go. All right, so I'm just gonna AFK here and we'll get all the shulker shells that we'll need for this project and future projects. So let's jump into here. And let's AFK. Whilst I do AFK for all the shells I need, that is actually a good time to know that the shulker farm is now complete. Now, let's just get the rest of these shulker shells. Alright, that should be pretty good. So we'll just take all these shulker shells and then we'll get out of here. Now that we're actually done with part 2 of this plan, let's get to part 3. Alright, so to do a Deepslate farm, I'm going to need to build a giant tunnel bore, and here are all the ingredients here. And there is one that is significantly pretty difficult to get, but other than that, I've pretty much got everything, or they're very easy to get. So what I'm going to do is grab the hard one, which is 36 ancient debris. And then I'll just grab all the easy ones like so. Alright, and then let's grab our TNT and let's start blowing up some netherrack. Alright, and after mining these 3 pieces of ancient debris, we are all done. Alright, and with that all done, let's just get the rest of these materials. Like, we should just start this by now. So, there we go. Let's go. Okay, so I think I'm going to build my tunnel bore underneath Deepslate level right here. So I'm just going to hack out some little areas here. All right, so I've built the water elevator and drop chute. So I'll just bone meal up my water elevator. Then we break it. And there we go, that works. All right, now that that works, we can now actually get to digging out this entire area and building our tunnel bore. So let's do it. And boom, okay, we are done. What's actually really good as well is I've also collected all the cobbled Deepslate that I've mined up. And I am so close to getting half of them full. So once I build this excavator, it's going to be very easy to get the rest. Let's just grab all the materials and get to work. And boom. Okay. Every single machine has now been armed. All right, now the moment of truth. Let's hit the note block and let's see if this works. Oh, here we go. Oh, well, that looks hopeful. Yes, let's go. All right, now I can collect up all this deep slate. All right, so what I'll do now is collect up all the deep slate that I'm going to need for blockers on Prime, and then we'll get back to it. So let's go. Oh, and of course we cannot leave out diamonds. Let's go. All right, and that is all the deep slate bricks we are going to need. So when I grab all of these shulker boxes packed to the brim of deep slate bricks, and I go M plus P, and then when I go to the material list, I've got all the deep slate bricks that I'm going to need for this project. Oh, and by the way, did you even think that the deep slate was enough? Whilst we have all the deep slate bricks, we still don't have all the slabs. Neither do we have all the deep slate stairs that we need. I guess it's back to running that tunnel bore now. So let's do it. Okay, and that is all the deep slate related blocks done. Okay, so for part 4, we're going to run the tree farm to get all the wood that we're going to need for chests and other wood related blocks. But because the tree farm needs so much bone meal to run, I have a slight issue. My bone meal farm no longer works. Like when I click it, doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a load of buckets. All right, and then I'm just going to grab all the lava. 6, 7. All right, so now that we've got pretty much all the liquids from this bone meal farm that we're going to need to save, let's actually rip this down now. So we'll just gather up all the redstone and then we'll just continue on like so. All right, we've got all the materials we'll need for this new bone meal farm. Let's get to work. All right, and done. All right, now that the pipe has been fixed and we have a new bone meal farm, and all right, let's place some bone meal in this farm. And now, moment of truth, when we turn it on, it should produce some bone meal. And it's working, which is really good. All right, now that the bone meal farm is working, let's actually get to collecting all the spruce wood related blocks. So for a start, I'm going to need 21 shulker boxes of just spruce planks in general. So what I think I'll do is, because I have a lot of spruce logs, I'll just drop them all. And then what I'll do is I'll craft everything into spruce planks. And to start out, we've actually filled up 5 shulker boxes of spruce planks. So very good start. But now comes the long part, which is running the tree farm for a while. So I'll craft up the rest of the shulker boxes, place them here. All right, so we've got 16 more shulkers to fill of just spruce planks in general. All right, let's run this wood farm. All right, 100 Minecraft days later, and yeah, I am absolutely loaded with all the wood related blocks that I'm gonna need. All right, and that has all been moved over. Oh wait, did you think we were done? We need 20,000 plus hoppers, and to craft one hopper, I'm literally going to need to use a chest. I'm gonna need to get 13 more shulkers of chests. I guess back to the wood farm now. And even to start, I've actually got all this wood here, so let's just craft it all up into chests, and then we'll get started on AFKing for wood itself. Alright, and that is all the chests collected for the hoppers. Alright, let's collect up all these shulker boxes now and transport them all to the iron farm. Alright, so here we are. Let's place all these shulkers down. Alright, boom. And then we'll start with this chest over here of chests. And then let's just grab all this iron. But as well, let's grab all the iron blocks that I've been saving up. And then we'll just craft all the hoppers we're going to need. Alright, so I've done 2 full shulker boxes worth of hoppers. And we're chipping into the 3rd one. But Now we're all out of iron, and now that makes me regret crafting all those anvils that I did off camera. Alright, so because my iron farm's actually pretty slow, I've gathered up all these materials to build another iron farm close by. So I'll just pack this up and then let's go and build it. So I think that just over the hill here would be a good place to build the farm. I think for these farms, what I'll do is I'll build them over here and then I'll like try to connect it with the iron factory. I'll just set up here. I'll get another shulker box just for all the wood that we're going to collect because we're going to collect a lot. All right, now we'll just chop away all these trees. All right, that's pretty good. And now we'll flatten it out like so. All right, and then I'll grab all of the building materials and then I'll build this farm. All right, and that is the farm done. Oh, but wait, you thought we were done? Oh, no. We dug out this space so that we can build 5 more of the exact same model. All right, so without further ado, farm number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that is all done. With all the farms built, I'm gonna build a really sloppy looking dirt stairway. All right, it looks pretty bad, but it'll work. So now we've just gotta wait for the night so that we can get all the zombies in. Okay, it's nighttime now, which is really good. So, oh, here's one. Okay, would you like to come this way potentially? And number 2. All right, so we're a third of the way there already, which is pretty good. But let's get the rest of these in. So, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. There we go. All right, so while my villager breeder fills up, I should have all the villagers in 2 days. So I'm actually going to join up a pipeline now. All right, so I've dug the entire pipeline to the water chute. So now what I've just got to do is I've just got to add some water. And then we should be all good. I've got about just shy of half the villagers I'm going to need to run all 6 farms. So what I'll do is I'll grab a lot of rails and just temporary blocks. And then we'll just build a little railway to each bed module. All right, and here are my last 3 villagers for the iron farm. So let's send them on their way. Boom, boom. And then last one, boom. Let's go. Then when we place our slab here, we have fully completed our iron farm. All right, so now let's clean up the entire track because, I mean, it looks pretty bad here. Like, it looks like a random railroad going to the sky. So let's clean this up. All right, and that has all been torn down. Now that I have my new iron farm intact, let's actually go and AFK at my iron farm. All right, and without further ado, we're going to have so much iron coming into here. So now, let's duck off to the side and let's just wait here. Alright, I may have just AFK'd overnight and... yeah, okay. We've got literally 9 double chests full of iron ingots. So let's see how far this gets us now. I've actually just realized if I didn't craft all these anvils, I'd probably have this done by now. Silly me. Alright, so I've done 4.5 shulker boxes of just hoppers alone. But we still have 3 full shulker boxes and a half to go. So, oh, wait a minute. What's this chest here? Oh, yeah. I may have just saved up all the iron before I went AFK overnight. Yeah, let's craft all this as well. Alright, turns out that an overnight AFK session is not enough. Because I've made a dent into this one and I still have 2 more to fill up. But overall a good start because we've got 5 shulker boxes full of hoppers now, which is really good. We'll just place them aside. Alright, and now let's just wait for the rest of the iron to come through. Alright, and then our last shulker box, let's fill it to the brim with hoppers. Alright, and just like that, that is all the hoppers done. Oh, but wait, did you think that we could just build the farm and expect it to run straight away? No, something's different this time around. And there is only one man who can explain this. So, take it away.
Ah yes, the ominous bottle. The invention that has destroyed automatic raid farms completely. But not to fear, this thing is luckily farmable with some time and effort. So if you want manual raid farms, they are a must. Class dismissed.
Alright, so this will be the spot here. So we'll just free all the iron golems, and then we'll just start to flatten out this area. Alright, so now I've got all the building materials to build the ominous bottle farm. So let's just build it, and then let's be done with it and get some raid bottles. Before we actually let this farm run for a long period of time, I actually want to use all these redstone items that I've saved. So I'll just grab them all. And then I'm going to build a little clever sorting system. So let's just destroy all these chests. Alright, and that is done. Once we AFK, we'll get level 1 to level 5 bottles in each of the respective chests, going from left to right. And now let's just AFK at the farm and see how it does. Alright, yeah, this is pretty good. We've got tons of ominous bottles now. So let's just grab all of them. Alright, everything is here. So let's build this thing.
However, little did I know, this automated raid farm didn't work. I thought it would, but it didn't. So silly me decided that running the tunnel bore would work. Unfortunately, that was going to take way too long. Then I realized which farms existed. So I built one and called it a day.
Okay, and this is all the redstone related stuff here. So we've got redstone torches, redstone dust, and this will be just to craft repeaters and comparators. And there is one more ingredient that I'm missing, and that is stone. Now, what we can do is we can just continuously mine this, but again, this is slow, and I feel like 4 stone blocks isn't enough. So I'm going to transform this stone farm here. Before we start to use the farm, I want to go to the nether and get another beacon. So I'm going to have to find 3 wither skeleton skulls, and that in itself is very annoying. So let's go. Alright, I've got all the skulls that I need. So let's head back and we'll spawn the wither and get another nether star. Okay, now that I've got my 10 by 11 square room, I'm going to build the beacon like so. And boom. Okay. Now if I just place the beacon down like so, we should get a beam. Yes, we do. Then using an iron ingot, I'll get haste 2 on it. Alright, now that I've got all the stone that I'm going to need, let's just grab all of this out and then craft all the respective redstone components. Alright, and that is all done. Alright, so now we can fully tick off step 5 of this project, which was to get all the redstone stuff. Now, on to the next one. And what I need to do now is just run the stone farm for many consecutive days. So we'll grab all our pickaxes and then we'll get to work. I will see you at day 1000. Alright, and that is 1000 days survived in hardcore Minecraft. Let's go, baby. And to celebrate, let's have a slice of cake. Boom. Alright, and after upgrading the stone farm, we have collected all the stone that we're going to need for this build. That puts us over to step 7 of this build, which is to get all the light blue and blue concrete that we're going to need to build Blockers on Prime itself. Alright, and that is all done. Before I do get my concrete powder here, I'm going to actually clear out an area for a chunk loader. So I'll do that very quickly. Alright, and now the portal leads back to the chunk loading portal. So let's go back through. And then if I turn this on, it should now work. And as you can see, the mine carts are going through. So now our chunk loader now works. Okay, and then the last step of our plan is to now build the storage unit in the end dimension. And then we'll grab this blue shulker box here, which has all the building materials that I'm going to need. So let's jump in. Out here, let's just start building. Alright, and now when I click the switch, it should actually now all work. And it does. Let's go. Alright, let's jump into the end here.
And look at all of this concrete powder just flowing in here. Okay, so now I'll just AFK for about an hour and we should have more than enough concrete to build blockers on Prime finally. So, let's do it. Before we do actually drop all our blocks off at the building site, I actually need to turn all of this into concrete first. So, I'll get all of the concrete out of here. Then what I'll do is throw it all into here. All right, and then we can just grab all of our light blue concrete and put it back into here. And then we'll just rinse and repeat this until we are all done. And that is everything. So when we go to Blockers on Prime Final, we have all of our concrete blocks. All right, so let's drop off all of our concrete blocks. And then we can move on to getting the rest of the stuff. And we can finally set a new world record. Alright, and that is everything I am going to need for this project. So let's just grab this shulker box and the rest of the materials and let's get over to the build site. So now that we're up to building the massive storage unit itself, I think what we'll do is we'll flatten out this area first. Okay, and finally we have flattened out this area and now we are up to the part that I have most been waiting for. But before we start that, I don't think I am dressed for this. So I'm going to look a bit more formal and business-like for this. Okay, now I definitely look like I'm ready to build blockers on Prime here. Okay, these are all the shulker boxes of all 200,000 items that we're going to need to build this warehouse. So starting off on our first layer, it looks like we got a lot of planks and mainly just planks. So we'll start by getting loads of spruce planks. And it looks like blue concrete and then some black stone and just some other things. All right, and now layer by layer, let's build this. And that is level 1 done. Alright, so now that I've completed level 1 of this 4-story warehouse, I think what I'll do is I'll take a break from building for now, because there's actually something else that I need to do. And that is, I need to get a load of filter items into these hoppers as soon as possible. I'll grab 9 of the empty shulker boxes, and then I'll just go to the nether and grab a load of netherrack. Okay, and that is all our netherrack done. And then I'll also grab many of the anvils that I've been saving up. So a stack should do. And then by just grabbing as much netherrack as possible. And then just by renaming the netherrack. Okay, and that is done. And as you can see, it's starting to come together really nicely. We've got all these chests here to store so many blocks. And this is only half of what you're going to see at the end of this. Because I guarantee you, this is going to be the largest storage unit you will have ever seen in Minecraft Survival's history. Okay, now that we're half done with the project, there is actually something we also need to do. So I'm going to grab a name tag. And I made a post recently about the statue on top of the fountain here at the town center. And really quickly, before the name tag is placed on this statue, I just want to say thank you for all your names. But now there can only be one winner, and the winner is Chill Guy Freddy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to this village Chill Guy Freddy. Anyway, let's get back to building blockers on Prime because it's a world record and we need to get it done.
Okay, and with this comparator, we are 3/4 of the way to finishing this project. And as well, when we look at it from afar, it is really starting to take shape now. Like, you know, we've got the reception down here, and then we've got 3 levels of the entire storage facility. Now that it's actually 3/4 time of this project, I actually got a comment from one of you saying that I should add berry bushes to my vineyards. So I'm going to go do that actually, because I think that is a really cool detail to add to my village. So I'll go do that. And then we will get to the 4th quarter of Blockers on Prime. So let's do it. Okay, and then if I just scatter the berry bushes throughout here. Okay, and just looking at this looks way cooler now. Great detail. Thank you. Thank you to this person who suggested it. You're an absolute legend. All right, but let's not mess around. We are on the home stretch of this building project. And once it's done, I will have an official world record. And then to top it off, after placing this block, we have an official Minecraft world record for the largest storage unit ever documented. So after 700 days of just flat out grinding and AFKing for resources, let me give you a tour of this place because I've been pretty due to do it. So this is the first level of the storage unit. So I've got 4 hallways just filled to the brim of double chests. And this is one hallway here. There are 256 chests in this hallway alone. And then if we times that by 16, wow, that is a large number of chests. And did I really need to have all these chests? No. Was it worth it? I mean, yes, because now I don't have to build another storage unit for many updates to come. So I could realistically survive this for 5 years, 5 years worth of updates. I'll be able to sort every block. And also as well, considering that this is like an Amazon fulfillment center, I decided to put some conveyor belts here. And we should probably fill these with blocks because this would be really cool because it would look like we've got some blocks being sorted into the chests as a visual reference. Alright, it's done. Okay, and one last detail. I'm going to make a armor statue. I'm going to go into one of these offices over here. Now I'm just going to remove the chair here. And then we're going to place our armor stand. So armor stand, head, boots, pants. And then we are going to do a trimmed leather tunic. All right, and then I'm going to adjust this guy like so that he's seated. All right, and now there is only one thing left to do. To give this guy a name. And let's face it, this was kind of predictable. Say hello to Jeff, the CEO of Blockers on Prime, who has been fulfilling orders since 2025. And with that all done, we now have an official Minecraft world record for the largest storage unit to be 100% built in survival Minecraft.